I know, you're saying, Batjack, what is that? Shut that off. Those of you that have been on my Patreon page, I guess you already know what that is. Don't worry, I will shut it off. I'm getting ready to start the radio show here. So, 1:35. Here we go. Gonna start the video actually with this thing running. And yes, what is it? I know you're going, what in the world is that sound? It's a rock tumbler for brass. I've been checking it out, using it on brass. I know some things are old and some things are new, or I don't know. I've always done tumbling with corncob media. So, all right, here we go. Let's start the camera here. See, now everybody gets to get surprised about what it is. I know, everybody. What is that? Batjack, are you going to run that thing this whole time through the video? No, I'm not. Yes, old Batjack JW here. Episode 135 with radio. Glad you're here. It is Saturday morning. You are tuned in. You got your coffee. Or maybe some of you are not tuned in the morning. Could be in the afternoon. Could be not even Saturday. Who knows? But either way, you're here. I'm glad you clicked on the video. And, well, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whatever it may be. Yeah, I'm sure you're looking at this giant thing right in front of the whole video here. And some of you new subscribers are wondering, what in the world am I clicking on now? What is this? This is our radio show that we do. Those of you that have been with the channel for a long time, help out some of these new people. They may not necessarily understand what we're doing here on Saturday morning. This is where we talk about stuff, upcoming things, what we've been doing, and all that sorts of stuff. Okay. Last time we talked, of course, these last couple of radio episodes, we have just sad news, which has been a bummer. So October has definitely been pretty grim in that aspect. But let's kick it off with some bright news and everything. And of course, as always, we will always remember Ed USAF and CMAX there. All right, so I got 454 Packer. He says coffee time has arrived. Yes, it is. Coffee time is here. It's that time. All right. Mr. Holster, he says, I would really like to find a Beretta Centurion, I hope I'm saying that right. He's D, in excellent condition. Wish he had saved one of the 5 that he had. I guess he had to sell them. They discontinued them, and it spiked the prices. And isn't that the truth of stuff? They discontinue things, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and now everybody wants one back when they didn't want one, or when it was a cheap piece of junk, and blah, blah, blah. So speaking of that, keep that in mind. There's something I got right here hiding behind this machine that's you would say back in the day would have been a cheap piece of junk, but now they're kind of collectible. And in fact, there's kind of a cult following for it. I know, I'm leading you on, ain't I? It's like a trailer for a good movie coming up. We have Denzel Washington returns this summer for what he is doing next. Get on board. No. Okay, enough of that. All right, Mr. Holster. Yes, sir. That is good polish. I was talking about the Anglers polish the last time we did that. He said, I didn't know that Mr. Holster was left-handed. All right, but he was forced to do everything in sports and shooting right-handed. But then when he grew up, he wrote left. Hey, but we're right here. Okay, in case you don't know what I'm talking about here, actually, I let on in the last radio show that we did. I said to everybody, name in the comments what is the something that you would like to find, collect, add to your collection. If money wasn't the option, or money was no object, basically. What is it? List it. Let me know what it would be. I told you guys already. The only thing that really gets me going now, piques my interest, that perks my ears. That I go, what? What'd you say? What you got? Because doing this business and being involved in the gun counters and stuff like that, you see a lot, you handle a lot, you get, I was really immersed in a lot of this stuff at one point in time. But now it's a lot of it has slowed down dramatically for me. It's just like I have learned to just go, I can go without it. But there is one, as a Browning High Power. Yes, I used to have an FAG manufactured one. Got rid of it before I moved. I shouldn't have. Oh well, things happen. But I would like to get an actual legit Browning Belgian-made one. That would be my ultimate there. So anyway, I wanted to see what everybody else had to say about it. Jerry Johnson said, "Yep, those Browning High Powers are awesome, Batjack. He has his dad's High Power. Nice, practical 40 Smith & Wesson." Let's see here. What would he say? I do shoot it sometimes, but not as much. That's why I bought a Glock 22 Gen 4 a couple years ago. I would love to have a Belgian Browning High Power in 9mm, but yes, they do. They cost quite a bit, $1,000 or more. But you know what? Sometimes you can get them for less. Depends where you're going. But he says for a used one, bucket list item. I guess that would be his bucket list item. Is a Browning. So he's agreeing with me. So Jerry, you want a Browning High Power too? Make sure you save one for me though. Okay. Scott F says, I sure missed the Friday Fix by Roy. That's right. 504 Dirt Dart. Like, that's interesting that, and I know, Scott, you go back with the channel for a while. But yes, 504 Dirt Dart and the Friday Fix. I would always tune into that with a cup of coffee. And he says the 629 is a nice one. Yes, we brought out the 629 again, and also the recent video on the channel that you guys have been watching, the 629 returns. Obviously on Patreon, you guys have already seen that quite some time ago. All right, Evie Saint, morning, Batjack JW. Morning, Evie Saint. All right, the gun that I hunted for years was the picture, and his thing is Smith & Wesson Model 27 with a 3.5-inch barrel. Interesting. I see that. Always did wonder what that was. Almost thought it was a Ruger. No, I didn't say that. No. Okay. Let's see. James L. My wife is left-handed, as one of my 5 kids. Thing is, my wife is one of 13, and out of 13, 5 or 6 are left-handed. Oh, isn't that interesting? And my friend Darren Baggs, 6-gun. This is a great show, Batjack. I've been with you since the beginning. Yes, I know. That's one of the very first things I ever got. All right. One of your first 50 subscribers. I know, it was crazy. I remember when I just barely had 100 people subscribed to this, doing this. And we even were talking on Google Plus when that was a thing. We share a lot of the same ideas. I do collect guns, but also love to shoot them, and I'll shoot them a lot. Lucky enough to have the land that I do to do that. Oh man, yeah. If you have the land to shoot, that's where it's at right there. That changes a lot. The Snubby 44 that you have is great. Let's see. The best gun I'd be looking for in my collection would be an old lever action Winchester or Henry. I get that you love your lever action rifles. Yes, I currently do not have one right now. Maybe someday I'll pick one up again. Depends where I'm at. All right, Lion Quest Fitness says, "Oh my Lord, did Mr. Holster did a Mr. Holster laugh just come out of your mouth?" All right. As for the elusive gun for his collection, I'd really like to have, what is it? I gotta go oddball, he says. A nickel-plated Taurus 82. Ooh, I like your style. I like your style. All right, Big Al. Batjack, we need more old souls like you, especially the lefties. And he is a lefty too. That's pretty awesome. You've been swamped at work. Apologize. That sucks. I know what that's like, being swamped at work and not having time for everything. And I watch you because of the common sense, lack of obsession with tactical things and impractical for day. Yeah, I mean, that's just me. I don't know. I don't, I don't it's just not, I don't get obsessed with things. I think it's important not to. I remember a really good friend of mine, close friend of mine, like I said, he said it's very important not to get obsessed with this. As I was breaking into this gun industry and doing all that, and he's so right. You got to be able to just walk away from it. It's just a hobby. It's just something I do. You can just walk away and just do it. It's very important because you can jeopardize a lot of things in your life. I'm not one that gears up every day. I'm not like, oh, gotta get, like, it always reminds me of like the scene from Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's right before he goes to take over the compound. It's like, I mean, he's just like gearing up for like World War III. And that's what I feel like. It's like some of these people, it's like, man, it's like, okay, let's see, I'm going out today. I got to have, let's see, a knife in this pocket, knife in that pocket, draw a knife here, cross knife over here, zip cuffs, regular cuffs, mace, a gun, 5 extra magazines, an AR pistol on my back, a strapped on pistol on my ankle. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And where are you going? I'm going to Walgreens. All right. Jeffrey Kelly, October 22nd, was the 50th anniversary of the Horrible Gun Control Act of 1968. Just remember. Okay. Cool. All right, moving on. Bernard Flood, greetings from Ireland. Love the Snub 44. I do too. It reminds me of that movie every time I see it. All right. Edward Petty, he says, I must replace the Model 29, pinned and recessed. So that's, but he would love to have a Winchester 1873 octagon barrel. Can't argue with that. 2-inch 1968 Python is what he would like for his collection. That's from Jeffrey Kelly. That's a good choice. That's a really good choice. I kind of, honestly, I kind of want a Colt Diamondback snubby, just because that's what Steve McQueen had in Bullet. John Ratko, he says, just wish I could be skillfully ambidextrous. Yeah, that would be nice. The Real Cobra Burnout. Met some great folks here on YouTube. That is very true. We have met a lot of really cool people on YouTube. So I was reading that other comment from Mr. Rory James that says he likes my Jaws 2 poster. Don't you? It's right there. Hey, you know what? Wait a minute. I just noticed something as we got down to the last of these comments. Yes? Where are you, Joe? Joe P? Where are you, Joe? I want to see you in there, Joe. Okay, back to the topic. But yes, as the Real Cobra Burnout was saying, we have met a lot of really cool folks here on YouTube. A lot of the people that are part of this and understand this, what we do, and they get it. That's awesome. There are some people that don't. That's okay. Go unsubscribe and get somewhere else and go do something else with your life. Your negativity is not wanted here, but that is, we have met a lot of really cool people, and it's sad when you see that some of them have passed away, and it happens, and that's what happens. I've noticed that the older I get, when you're a teenager, everything's just like you're invincible. In your early 20s, you're just like, you're happy-go-lucky, you just wee, and everything's a big joke, and pipe dreams are not pipe dreams, they're actual reality, and you really can't understand much. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of reflecting almost in a way how I felt back in that time myself. As you get older, you get more refined. I'd like to say a lot of us would age like wine and get more finer and understand more things, and kind of look at things differently like I do. I look at life a lot different. I'm not 23. I'm not 24. I'm not, whatever. I'm not in my 20s. I'm not a teenager. Time passes, and it just goes. It gets different. It does. It changes. It gets different. That's why I have the outlook on life I do, because it is. A lot of it is greatly different for me. It's not. I'm not invincible anymore. I'm not. I don't have that mentality that, Jimmy Dean kind of, live fast, die young kind of thing. No, I start slowing down. Yeah, I just start slowing down things, start thinking about reality, start thinking about friends and family and how much more important they are. These things are just materialistic. You can't take them with you. As the old saying goes, you ever seen or as the song goes, you ever seen a hearse with a trailer hitch? No, it just doesn't happen. So I do. I look at life differently. I really do. A lot of this is materialistic. I said this once. I said it before. I would drop every single thing I got right here, throw it all away. I don't care what it is. I will throw it away in the garbage can if my mom needed my assistance and my mom needed me or my mom got sick. I mean, that's family. That's just the way it goes. This is all nothing. That's how close a lot of that should be for a lot of people. That's just the way it should be. This is nothing. This is just replaceable. You can get more of them or get something else like it. It's important to have that thinking, and again, that goes to obsession. You cannot. It just should not be an obsession. It shouldn't be something that you eat and drink it all day, every day. It's like injected in my arm. It's not healthy. It's not. So, all right, I'll get off my soapbox. Live your life the way you want it. I'm not here to tell you how to. I'm just saying that's the way I live my life. There's only so much that matters. In the end, you just hope that you've done good, and that judgment will come. All right, so I know you're probably sitting there going, well, okay, we've been watching this video. Now, what the heck is this? It's a rotary rock tumbler. I actually went and got one. I don't shoot a ton of brass or bullets anymore. Whatever. Rounds of ammunition. I know. Oh, it's not a bullets. Round of ammunition. I don't shoot as much as I used to. Maybe that'll change. Depends where I'm at. But I don't. So I knew that I didn't want to get a very big one. And this is very small. It's a 3-pound rotary tumbler. Just go in there. You fill it up with... I got in here... I read online, actually, what to put in there. And it is water, Dawn dish soap, and lemon juice. And you just put it all in there, turn it on, and that's pretty much just the sound. It's not too bad. In fact, if you wanted to, you could go shove it in the closet and close the door if you needed to. But that's it. It's a rubber drum. And here's the example. And I have a video on this. I haven't posted it yet. Don't know if you can see that. That's pretty horrible looking brass. 38 special. Bought this at a yard sale. And there's 45 minutes into the tumbler. In fact, it might have even been half an hour. I don't know. With the Dawn dish soap and lemon juice. And they've come out pristine. Pretty nice, considering. I used to do a lot of the corn cob media and all that, and I since then quit. I said, no more. I'm not going to do that no more. It's a big mess. I'm not into it. This is a lot more to me. This works out a lot better. So I just let this stuff dry. You can even, if you wanted to, I guess you could throw it in like a toaster oven or something on really low heat and let it cool off. But you can just leave it. It'll dry. It'll dry pretty good. Obviously, you don't want to. This is not something you want to plan for, like, soon. That you're gonna. If you want to reload now, then maybe the old corn cob. But so it has its place. You have to remember because you're dealing with water. So that's the thing. They do have a bigger one. I didn't want a bigger one. I didn't need it. So, but yeah, that's what I got. I'll put this down so you can perhaps get that out of your way. I know, looking at that half the video. So I know I told you I had something down here that I was talking about. That I went to the gun show to get. Ooh, I went back to the gun show. And I went there specifically for this. Now, if you guys remember, some of you have been with the channel for a while, I broke out this knife. This is really cool. Now, to me, these are collectible. They're awesome. They are old classic Rizzuto switchblades. They came around in the 50s and 60s. I don't know a terrible lot of them, but they're basically, when you think of the movies, there are so many movies, and more so it seemed like, so late 70s, 80s, to the late 80s, 88, 89. This was pretty much the Hollywood switchblade. That was the one. And now they weren't made very, very well. In fact, they're made quite cheap, and a lot of them broke, and that's why they're collectible. So there's kind of a cult following for these things. There really is. I'm not lying about that. There's some Rizzuto heavy collectors. Now, I've never really been into them until I kind of read a little bit about them. I actually just like the style. My favorite style of these is the Guard. Now, this is nothing tactical or anything that's going to be like, send you into the forest, build a house kind of a thing. I'm going to go to war because I'm John Rambo. But there's a cool factor in the vintage and the sexiness of it. Now, these are things I don't play with or I don't carry them or anything like that. They're strictly a cool collectible item that I have that just kind of I like to admire and look at. So this is the very first one I bought from a gentleman out there. He's a good old boy. He had 3 of them, and I bought this one from him. I've had it for a while, and always thought, because he had a couple more. I knew he had a couple more, and I didn't pull the trigger or push the button on it to go get it. But I got around, stewing around a lot, kicking myself and said, I really probably should get him. And I see this guy at quite a few shows. So the last show I went to, I said, I didn't see him. That sucked. But this time around, I knew I had a feeling he was going to be at this show. So I said, I'm going to go and see if I can find him. Sure enough, I did, found him, and I just pushed the button and bought him. He has got a couple other ones that he had. These are the ones. I oiled them up with good old Ballistol, took care of them, shined up the blade a little bit. But there they are. Now, these are the classic black-handled ones, the silver, black and silver thing going on. These are the classics that you see. Both of these are really awesome. I got really fascinated with one like this because of Beverly Hills Cop 2 with Billy Rosewood, when the scene where Eddie Murphy is trying to pry the drawer open at one of the office buildings. He snaps the blade off, and he says, and then you'll see just the kind of quick thing of Billy just go in his jacket pocket, whip one out, fire it up, and then he gives it, and then, because it just gives that, like, everybody kind of does that. So I've always liked that in movies. Every time you see one of these things get clicked out, it's such that dramatic, just that dramatic acting of everything, because it's like supposed to just freak everybody out. It's like when somebody clicks it out, they're like, and then just people, they do that thing where it's just like, and then he switched out a switchblade, and people reclined in abject terror. It's just funny. One of the more dramatic ones is Hellraiser. Hellraiser is one of the most. Of course, the knife in there is just. I want that knife bad, but you can't find. I don't know. But the guy's going around chasing the girl with the switchblade. And I got another one here, and he clicks it out at her, and she just screams and freaks out, and it's just the. I mean, it's just. So it always made me laugh about that. But anyway. But that's what you got to do, right? You got to live. You got to laugh. Life is short. See you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. And that's it. Well, I know, kind of a short one this time. Well, I guess compared to the last time, I thought 22 minutes or so. I didn't want to drag this one on too long. I was trying to get it short and sweet, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. Some of you actually don't mind. I know some of you actually like the longer shows, and I do appreciate if you've been actually listening to the audio here first or after, I guess, for the extended stuff that I have to say. So, but yes, the Rizzuto, those are cool. Pick those up. I had to have them. I know, I had to have them. Alright, so get this phone down here. Take the phone down. I know, I've been having to still do this on my phone. I've been wanting to get been wanting to get a camera, so eventually I'll do so. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.